Hello everyone, and we are back. The week has been very long. It was very long, but we are back. We are alive. We thank the Almighty for having allowed us to come back again to talk about what we were talking about last time. It was a very interesting topic because we got a lot of feedback. So this means that mental health affects everyone. And then sometimes we don't even know that we are going through something until when it is worse. So we don't even know what mental health is. What is mental health? Is there a time when your mind is healthy? And is there a time when your mind is unhealthy? Something is wrong with it. Can you tell the difference? So what is mental health? We need to know that. Then you find that amongst some of our feedback, you find that these issues affect everyone. And then you find more or less the same practices. Like somebody is going through something and then they open up to another person and the only advice they can give them is don't think about it because there are other bigger problems. Maybe you're just being a baby, and then this person will go isolate themselves, and then you find that the situation just gets worse. So what is mental health? That's the question. We talked about it last time. But now I want to make it simpler. Your mind. Let's imagine your mind is like a body. Is there a time when it's okay, when you're thinking clearly? Do you remember a time when you felt your mind was working at its highest? And do you always see those changes? What causes that? So that's what we're going to be discussing today with my very good friend, Sseremba Alex. Yeah, it is a very interesting topic because we got some very good feedback from a lot of people. And it's a very good request for us to resume and talk about it in detail with our simple Dr. Alex Sseremba. What are some of the things that affect the mind? Because you said the mind has an healthy state, but then it gets unhealthy sometimes. So what are these things that come and then they kutawanya our mind before, and then we don't even know that our mind is kutawanya, yet our body, when it gets a problem, you can know that but then your mind, you don't even know. So what are these disorders? We call them disorders.
Yes, kakati. Era nga ogainti ekitawa obwongo. What differentiates, I think, the brain from many other body parts is that you cannot feel it, you cannot touch it. So even when it has a problem, you may never know. In fact, someone was telling me that the mind is a spirit. It is not some object. It is actually a spirit.
It's a spirit. You can compare it to a spirit.
But of course, like you said, that the challenges against the state of our mental ability are increasing every now and then. I think there are a number of factors that actually lead to this, the one that you call the disorders.
Yeah.
In simple terms, the things that we go through in life, the issues, the events that we go through in life, they can actually make us happy or sad. So the quality of your brain, the way it resonates with what's going around it, is what either makes your mental health better or even worse. Because mental health is okay. It's just a topic. It's like the general health, it's like the stomach health or something. However, it can get some challenges. So what really brings about this, there are a number of factors. And one of them is worry. Okay? What we call stress in normal language. One of the things that actually affects your mental ability is anxiety. You see, in Uganda, worry is okweraliikirira, stress. Sometimes you find that people are not going to differentiate. Then what you do, anxiety kwe kukyamukirira. Sometimes oyinza okyamuka olw'embeera ennungi oba n'okyamuka olw'embeera embi. And the biggest challenge that is already bigger than those is depression. Yeah, depression is simply a persistent kind of stress that doesn't just come today, but it comes today, this week, next week, even the entire month. Some people even get what we call chronic depression, that they live in a state of mind that this kind of mental disability persists and causes one to feel different from what they used to feel, to do things different from what they used to do, to act in a weird way. And like I told you last time, they rarely realize that they're in this state of mind.
Yes,
it is up to us, it's up to me, it's up to you to see that, okay, I'm actually going off the ladder. Okay, your role is to help me.
Just like you tell when your body gets a problem.
Voila.
So in that case, you realize that a lot of people don't know that depression or the mind is it may be looked at as a body, because it also gets attacked by virus. You know, your mind can get attacked by virus. A virus could be like an idea. Something comes to your mind, somebody says something and it kills your whole day.
Sure.
What's the difference between that and an infection? You see, so we look at the mind as something which takes care of itself, and then we ignore it, and yet the mind not being okay leads to our body's not being okay.
So like I told you,
right?
Like the World Health Organization, they define mental health as the state of the mental well-being that enables people to cope with the stresses of life, to realize their abilities, to learn well and work well in order to contribute to their community or environment. So simply that is it. However, this thing called mental mind can be affected by what we said. It can be stress, it can be anxiety, it can be depression. But I think today, like we said last time, we can put so much our focus on what we call depression, because this is the most challenging topic right now in our community. I think that's what we can focus on for the moment, so that we help. Because as a matter of fact, as we speak now, right now, somewhere, somehow, there is that one person who is already fatigued of a number of things about life. This person is asking him or herself a number of questions. Why me? Where is my God? What did I do? How can I go through this and all that? So it depends on why we do this is trying to help to reach out to these people, to tell them, you know what? Okay, like we said, we cannot just say it is not only you, because all of us are potential candidates of the same disease or the same challenge. So these people need to be listened to. They don't need to be judged.
Yes.
They need to be helped, actually, because today it's me, tomorrow it's you. All of us, I can tell you again, all of us are potential candidates of this
For as
problem.
long as you have a mind.
As long as you're human
Just
being.
like for as long as you have a body, it will fall sick. So one of the things, one thing I wanted to point out is an issue which actually came from some of the feedback. A lot of people don't even know what it is. You know what I mean? Like they don't even know that there's such a thing as mental health. They don't even know that you can actually heal your mental. It's something you can take care of and then heal. So a lot of people don't know about mental health. So when they go through these situations, they just feel like maybe I need to have a rest. Maybe I'm having a headache, because sometimes it causes a headache. So they don't know it. Sometimes they take it as something which is normal. Musajja bwati bwalina okubeera. Musajja alina okubeera bwati. Man is supposed to be that. You go through all that problem. That's a man. But then you can heal it. So people probably don't know what it is. So can we try, I don't know, you who has done some really good research about it, trying as much as possible to understand what it is.
You know, like I told you, I think let me just look for something here, very small. You see, ours is, how do you call it? For you studied English. Multilingual. Multilingual. Yeah, it's a multilingual society. Because when we use so much English, some of our people may not even understand, even those who understand English. because it is not easy to tell the difference between stress, depression, worry, and all that. And indeed, there is a clear-cut difference between all those. Now, like I told you last time, for us, the Baganda, for example, depression is okwenyamira. This type of kwenyamira mulimu n'okwennyika. Wanga osobola okwenyamira olw'ekintu ky'olabye olwaleero, naye osobola obeera ng'oli mwennyamivu. Nga you have lost morale for everything. Okay? By the depression ereeta n'ensawalwa mu bantu. Otandika okulaba banno nga be bali obulungi. Golowooza ensi eyo yakola ki?
And then you feel like it's you who lost. You lost.
Ate ekyo ekintu kituuka ku ffenna. This is a universal problem now. It affects each and every one. So in Luganda we call it kwenyamira. I read the rule, the actually they call it tuopa opara.
It also exists there.
Everywhere, like I told you, everyone. In fact, on international scale, I was reading that at least 400 million people are affected by this disease.
By the way, even Ugandans say how many 14 million people are already nuts. They're already
those ones exaggerated.
Uganda, 14 million people are already mentally not okay.
They exaggerated it, but of course the figures are there. That at least 4.6% of our population is already suffering from this problem. If you go to the African scale, we are number 5 as the most depressed countries. Can you imagine? Africa has 50 countries. We are in number 5, I think, with South Africa as the most depressed people. Tomorrow we can be in the 4th, even 2nd, even 1st. Because there are a number of factors that bring about this stress, this depression and all that. So because of that, that's why we need to translate this for the people in different languages, different ways they can understand, not just a matter of creating awareness alone, but even as a matter of helping others. Because like I've always told you, there is help for everyone. Unfortunately, for people who are already depressed, some people are not aware that they are depressed. Some people are not even aware that there is help for them. Some people are not even aware that they can help the already depressed people. So, like I was telling you, they actually call it tuo pa. Okay, those ones from the Langi they call tam atuti. It's deep thoughts. Okay, the deep thoughts in simple
English.
Actually,
I see that, and the descriptions of these names, these names that you just mentioned, you find that, for example, somewhere they say obulwaire bw'ekiteekerezo. You see,
I think that is from the western part of the country.
Yes, that's a very good description because it shows disease of thoughts.
That is simple. I
Like
think Batolo Banankole, they have already defined it. The disease of thoughts. It's the disease of the mind. Okay, everyone is affected, and whoever is affected needs help. You may need help when you know. You may need help when you actually don't know.
Sometimes it makes me kind of come to this conclusion. Okay, this is just a simple observation. Do you share the same opinion with me if I said that a lot of our stress, we are the one who cause it on ourselves, and our depression, we are the sole cause a lot of it?
No. You see, in this life, everyone you see wants something good for themselves. Everyone you see. Now, I cannot really agree with the fact that people are responsible for how they live with this depression and all that. Because most of the time, our aim is not to get depressed. But it is the process that causes this. For example, a student who is in first year, university, Makerere, for example, here, he or she wants to start a course of 4 years, but he gets a retake in second year, another in third year, etc. I don't think that is their wish.
What I'm trying to mean is, for example, let me use me as an example and another person. For example, something happens to me that is so shocking and can lead to a lot of stress. But then the way I react to it or my approach to it may be different from the other person who actually gets stressed and actually gets sleepless nights. So you find that one person may actually find sleep because of the way they saw it and the way they analyze it and so, okay, I can't do anything about this, let me just go sleep. So they left it there, never get an elevaka. That's what I meant.
Actually, what you're trying to describe are all symptoms of being depressed. Most times when you're depressed, you are not depressed, you are already beyond even stress. What am I saying? Sometimes one of the ways you can realize that actually I'm already depressed is when you are either sleeping much than you should or even sleeping less than you should. Sometimes you can eat so much, sometimes you can even eat less. Sometimes you can get too much worried, sometimes you may not even care about anything. Those are all symptoms of someone who was already a candidate of this very problem. So no one causes harm to themselves. People, I'm sorry to bring in this.
I mean, without even knowing, sometimes
without knowing, people who actually commit suicide. For us, we just do postmortem. By the time someone decides to take their life, they have been through a lot. They have overthought. They have not found help. They have thought that everyone has actually judged them, or anyone is a potential judge against them. They feel like there is no help. They feel like there is no God. They feel like there is nothing like
you
hope.
Can't blame them.
You are not going to blame this person.
Munange, one of the feedbacks. Munange yagambye you open up to someone and they tell you that your problem, my dear, isn't the worst in the world. People, sorry, so now that kind of comparison, somebody saying like, oh no, it's not the biggest problem. Don't worry, it's not the biggest problem. So somebody like that, do you think they will even ever wish to go back and talk to anyone? So you find that they isolate themselves.
Actually, I think I got
that is about the help.
Almost the same feedback. There is where I say that find someone to talk to. I think I need to clarify this. The fact is, about these issues, you're not supposed to talk to everyone. When I say someone, that someone person must be a special person to you, not everyone. Okay? Secondly, this is a disease that is treatable. They are specialists in mental health. They are specialists, they are doctors that actually are responsible for this. Of course, there are not so many. I was shocked to learn that in Uganda there are less than 50 psychiatrists. Can you imagine? But of course, that is for the future to decide. As a matter of fact, right now, the rehabilitation centers, we should not think about them in a negative way. Does not mean that when you're depressed, you're already mad. No, you're not mad. But if you continue denying, you can actually run in the same route. What does it mean? Whenever you face a challenge, you have someone you see in this condition, don't judge them. Don't even compare. Why should you really compare? Because this person needs help. The other time I talked about judgment. They don't need to be judged how it started. Actually, all they need is how it is stopped. It is stopped. Not how it started. You may diagnose and find out, okay, it started like that. That's okay. They need help. We all need help. Myself.
Yes.
Yourself. Everyone needs help. So
You're
what you
right.
can do, these people, listen to them. Please listen to them. Talk to them in a loving, friendly, non-judgmental manner.
However, there is an opinion. There's an opinion which is public. You realize that most of the help that people can trust seems to be for rich people. Now somebody is depressed, where will she get the money to go for therapy? Wow. You see something like that, eh? So that's also it's also a very major problem.
All right.
Boda bayingiramu ate pone bawuliza ebizibu. Era omuntu abamu bagamba nti nali ndi awo, I was taking this musaabaze the woman and advised and she became my wife. You see, so those are the people who actually listen.
No.
In that case,
here is the thing. Like I told you, depression is like any other disease, like any other problem. Okay. I don't want to judge people, but I think when you are diagnosed with malaria, we know what to do, even when we don't have money. The services towards treating malaria, the expenses and all that, may be just slightly lower than that of depression and something. But most of the times you will find that in Uganda here, some of those services are given for free. They are counselors.
Actually, that's
people
true.
Are doing guidance and counseling. So it is not about the money. Secondly, this is about your life. It is not about the rich person, because disease affects everyone, not just the rich. It does not discriminate. Okay, the rich, if they can go to the rich centers, but they are rehabilitation. In fact, I was reading in Masaka, the bishop that side,
Severus
Jomba, I think it was the order of the Vatican that all those, how do you call that? I think monastery or something like that, they must have rehabilitation centers.
There you go.
And that gentleman has established one in Masaka, free of charge. And I know many
will receive help
that are there.
Yeah.
In Uganda here,
yes.
People, okay, there is what you call Uganda suicide.
Actually, in Uganda we have there's a Uganda suicide hotline.
Oh yes.
Number nti
You can call and help. You may not call njagala kwekola kintu. But when you feel
somebody
like
has a problem,
depressed, when you feel like there is a challenge, please, I think the problem with that country, sometimes you call when it is busy, when it is off and all that, but it's 0800 200 600. Now, when you feel like you are poor, you cannot even facilitate free service, these guys are going to give you free service. Okay? So, all in all, like I said, we all need help.
Yes, that is our last bit, because time is against us.
That is number one. Number two, we can all offer the help. Okay? The only thing that limits us from helping our brothers and sisters suffering from this challenge is that we judge them. We don't need to judge anyone. Okay? You are judging your children, you are judging your parents, you are judging the society, you are judging the government. We all have equal responsibility to save ourselves from this menace that is attacking our lives right now.
Okay. Thank you very, very much for this. And yes, I hope that was really expressive enough. Kubanga, this topic is very long, and we are going to go on and on and on. But at least we need to know what depression is, and then we start from there. Then we start asking other questions. Yes, sir. So kibadde kirungi naye era tugendera kweyongerayo, era tukyeyongerayo ddala n'emiramwa gino kubanga teguggwayo. Tukyanoonyereza abantu mu Uganda okubanga milioni 14 baguba ddalu.
Let us make this clear. Depression does not mean running mad.
Okay.
It is a disease like any other. Are we together?
Yes.
It's not about kugwa ddalu. Obulwadde bw'eddalu nabwo bulala ate. Naye ekiriwo kiri nti bwe tukigayaalirira kino, ate tusobola okufuna obuzibu buli obusingako awo. Abasajja tukola emirimu kubanga wambuza biva ku ki? Stress ziva ku bintu bingi. Emirimu gikubula, oba bosi wo naakuyisa bubi, oba mukyala wo naakuyisa bubi, oba nawoyisa bubi omukyala wo, etc. Naye there is help. There is a way we can help ourselves. Kuba obwongo bufa. Obwongo bwe bumala okufa, trust immediately kigenda kutebera. Tolina kyogenda kukola mu butuufu bwakyo. Bye bivuddeko amaka mangi, abantu balwana. Okay? Abantu battingana. Can you imagine? Tokyasobola genda n'osoma amawulire kati notasangamu cases ezo. Oli yakoze kino, ono yakoze ono kino. Abantu tebakyalowooza ku kwalite ya bulamu. Naye ng'ekimu ku ebyo beekyawa. I told you depression creates hopelessness in your heart. It creates this persistent sadness in your heart, you understand? So as a matter of fact, like I told you, we all need help, and we can all offer help without judging each other.
Okay, thank you very much. And tujja komaawo